This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting the webinar in a few minutes. Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Healthy Happens Here webinar series, a series of virtual webinars that cover a variety of health topics, including nutrition, mental health, tobacco cessation, and chronic disease self-management. My name is Robert Ward, and I'm a health educator with the Community Engagement Team with the Florida Department of Health in Miami-Dade County. My colleagues Brianna McDaniel and Candace Schottenlower are also joining me today to assist. Today's event is called Tobacco Marketing and the 4 Ps. We will be covering how to understand the tobacco industry's marketing tactics, as well as recognize the 4 Ps in tobacco marketing. In addition, there will be a Q&A session with with our presenters immediately following the presentation. Please feel free to enter any questions you may have in the chat box to your right, and we will address as many as possible during the Q&A session. Just a few other reminders. Please know you have the capability to have your camera on or off and to mute and unmute your microphone. While you are not speaking, please remember to keep yourself muted. And again, if you have any questions throughout today's webinar, please add them to the chat box on the right side of your screen. So I'd like to introduce our presenter today. Takia Smith is a senior health educator for the Tobacco Prevention and Control Program within the Florida Department of Health in Miami-Dade County. She also serves as a liaison for the Consortium for Healthier Miami-Dade Tobacco-Free Work Group and has worked in tobacco prevention for several years. She enjoys the work that she does, educating the community on the harms of tobacco and nicotine products and collecting important data elements on the tobacco retailer environment. Without any further ado, I will turn it over to Takia for our presentation.
Thank you so much, Robert. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar today, and I hope you all are actually staying safe and doing well. My name is Takia Smith, and I am the Senior Health Educator for the Florida Department of Health in Miami-Dade County, as Robert has mentioned. So today I will be, let me go back there. I will be talking about tobacco marketing and the 4 Ps, and I hope you all will learn something from this. So today's presentation objectives are basically to learn why focusing on the point of sale matters. I want you to understand tobacco industry's marketing tactics, as well as recognize those 4 Ps within the tobacco marketing. And like Robert mentioned, if you have any questions during the presentation, please place them in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So just to go over the Tobacco Prevention and Control Program in which I work for, the program focuses on improving the health of Miami-Dade County residents through policy and systems change through 4 main goal areas. And within these areas, the first one is to prevent initiation of tobacco products among youth and young adults, focusing on point of sale initiative as well as young adults. The second one is to eliminate secondhand smoke exposure pertaining to smoke-free multi-unit housing. The third is promoting cessation from tobacco use within tobacco-free work sites, along with quit your way resources. And our last goal area is to maintain the infrastructure of Student Working Against Tobacco, also known as SWAT, and the Tobacco-Free Work Group of Miami-Dade County. So why does point of sale matter? Tobacco use is the leading preventable cause of death within the United States. And worldwide, tobacco use causes more than 8 million deaths per year. So just to give you a little background about point of sale, the point of sale is actually where the tobacco retailers are at. This is where they sell tobacco products and where consumers will purchase it. So this is all going within the point of sale. Now looking at this slide, the tobacco industry spends so much money just within the point of sale. The tobacco industry spends billions of dollars each year just to market the cigarette, smokeless tobacco, and other products. And in 2018, cigarette and smokeless tobacco companies spent $9 billion on just alone on advertising and promotional expenses within the United States. This is done to promote smoking, increase tobacco consumption, discourage quitting, and encourage relapse. Majority of the tobacco companies' expenditures on advertising and promotion went all into price discounts paid to cigarette retailers in order to reduce the price of cigarettes to consumers, accounting for over $5 billion. So why does point still matter? Looking at this, cost is one of the reasons. As mentioned earlier, tobacco companies do spend a lot of money just within total marketing expenditures and on price-related strategies, all within the point of sale, within those retail outlets. These strategies work to keep tobacco prices low through price discounts, those promotional allowances, as well as they offer like those buy downs payments to these retailers just to reduce the price to consumers. They also offer multi-pack discounts you may have seen with their gas stations or convenience stores. And it also includes coupons, sometimes free gifts, and cigarettes or smokeless tobacco purchases. Another reason why the point of sale matter is initiation. POS, also known as point of sale, prompts you to start smoking. It increases the odds of smoking, experimenting with it, and the likelihood of becoming a daily occasional smokers. The third reason is prevention. Cigarettes at the point of sale make it harder for people to quit smoking. And the last reason why point of sale matters is the location. Tobacco retailers cluster within disadvantaged neighborhoods so they can locate their primary consumers. So this is basically providing you with a breakdown to the cost, as a retail store is where the tobacco enters your community. $1 million an hour is spent alone just on point of sale marketing. That's a lot of money when you think about it. And also, as you see here on the slide, POS report to the nation back in 2014 estimated that 374,000 retailers sell tobacco products to the US, to consumers here. So the tobacco companies are interested in the point of sale. So tobacco prevention control program or tobacco coalitions, prevention coalitions should be focused on it as well. Now to break down initiation, as mentioned, kids frequently visit these stores. They visit these gas stations, they visit the convenience stores within their neighborhoods. And this is exactly where all the tobacco marketing materials will be at. They'll either be within the outside or sometimes inside the stores or directly there by the cash register. You may notice that retailers in these specific areas have an abundant amount of tobacco products marketing these materials. Looking at this slide, this picture was actually taken from one of our partners known as Counter Tobacco website, and it just shows you how the neighborhood will look like. And within point of sale, as you see here, these are some marketing materials that are lined up against the wall. And they're basically enlisting consumers who want to try it as they're walking by. They see these signs, they see that they have a low cost, and they'll want to go ahead and possibly try tobacco. And of course, that all trails into location. The density and proximity places a key factor. So for those that are living close to these retail outlets, they have a less likelihood of actually quitting if they are tobacco smokers. And also higher densities of the retail outlets attracts the youth. So let's say certain areas, thinking about it in the terms of Miami-Dade County, there are certain areas that do have a lot of tobacco retailers congested within. And so it's hard for, again, for consumers to try to quit smoking, as well as hard for you to not see these marketing tactics, because they're going to see with their neighborhoods down the street or possibly close by their schools or even the parks that they play at. So location matters within a point of sale. So I'd like to mention how the marketing, how tobacco marketing looks at specific populations. looking at this, you see a skateboard on the screen. Probably thinking that this advertisement is appealing to adolescents. Adolescents do, they ride bikes, they play on skateboards, and this advertisement is trying to get their attention. Looking at this advertisement, you see that it is appealing to women. The tobacco industry have these advertisements, many throughout the times, attracting to women because they'll show some form of desirability. They also show women empowerment and attractiveness. These are things that they realize that that's what women want. So they're appealing to them and making it seem as if by using their products, they'll be able to gain that image. And the tobacco industry also market to specific audiences and populations, such as African American communities. Those communities that have, let's say, more African Americans, more people of color, will have these type of advertisements within their retail outlets, or you'll see them sometimes outside of the retail outlets, attracting to them. They'll see that, okay, these are people that look like me, and they may want to try these type of products. The tobacco industry knows who they're marketing towards. They'll also sometimes, within these areas, they'll get these direct mail promotions with these same type of marketing ads on those promotions. And again, all appealing to that demographic group. And here's another one. You may have seen advertisements like this one before as well, created to market towards Native Americans. These advertisements, again, are to specific demographic groups so they can promote their initiation of tobacco usage. So going into the four Ps, just a little background about what the four Ps actually mean. This is a proposed classification that has been used by marketing companies and branding agencies throughout the world. And here, of course, the tobacco industry is going to use it as well. They're looking to look into the place, price, product, and promotion, all important factors when it comes to marketing. So in each area, as I go through them, I also want to provide you all with information on how we can counteract these type of tobacco marketing skills that the tobacco industry does. So looking at place, right? The place of the tobacco industry has a vast system of distribution. So this is again the stores, your grocery stores, your pharmacies, your gas stations, places that people frequently visit that sell tobacco products. So within knowing this information, what we can do in tobacco control programs, we can customize, we can look at the tobacco retailer licensings, right? Or we can look at the limit of those tobacco retailers within within those areas. And we can possibly create control programs on how they sell those tobacco products, determining where they're allowed to be sold at within that community, but also looking at how they're sold within those retail outlets. If the tobacco products are being placed, behind the counter, away from consumers to easily pick them up. You also want to focus down on price. So the tobacco industry, they create low costs for some of their products so they can appeal to their consumers, like I mentioned. When the price increases, the consumer rates decreases. So looking at your screen right now, you see that, for example, cigarettes cost is like $4.55. That's pretty low. Now imagine having policies that will increase these prices to counteract the tobacco industry, in which the consumption rate now would then decrease. People are less likely to buy tobacco products that are more expensive. And also thinking about like maybe raising tobacco taxes as well. These are effective policies that can be used to reduce the use of tobacco products. So basically counteracting what they're doing. You also want to look at products, right? So the tobacco industry, as you all know, are focusing on e-cigarettes, which has become the new popularity among youth and young adults. So within tobacco control, you can regulate those tobacco products. You can, and in which when you're regulating them, you can include those e-cigarettes and those e-liquids. For example, preventing disposable e-cigarettes from being sold within the stores, or looking at flavor policies, having less flavor products within the stores and retail outlets. And you want to look at promotion, because the tobacco industry is definitely promoting their products throughout the city, using those coupons. You'll see them on the side of the walls of the stores sometimes. They're displayed usually everywhere within those retail outlets that they're sold within. So again, when it comes to combating that, you can have look at having, increasing those taxes, like I mentioned, or having marketing strategies that are used to having policies actually that are used to reduce the amount of coupons that can be used within the city, or taking away that option. So to kind of like reiterate the 4 Ps, want to look at the place. This is exactly where the tobacco industry, the tobacco retailers are. You also want to look at the price, the cost of what tobacco products are, seeing if you can probably raise the prices. You also want to look at the type of products that they're selling, in which now, as I mentioned, they are very focused on e-cigarettes and flavors. And also you want to look at the way they promote their products. So having these promotions advertised in a certain way, like displays on the walls or even outside. And you can create policies or laws that can combat all of these things. Having policies that can reduce the amount of retailers in the area, or again, raising those taxes, or having less materials or less advertisements on the wall display areas. There's also something known as demarketing the tobacco industry. I'm looking on your screen right now. This chart was actually created to have different types of demarketing approaches when it comes to tobacco, and working through the 4 Ps product framework, in which, again, like I mentioned before, again, increasing taxes and therefore the sales, the prices. All these things would less likely have youth, or like even like the lower income population that tobacco industry targets to purchase these items. Now to bring you into what we have done within the tobacco free work group, we created a counter marketing tool strategy. So right here on your screen were advertisements that were placed on gas station toppers within the local area of here in Miami-Dade County, helping with, let's say, with consumers. If they see this, they'll realize, okay, yeah, maybe, I need to quit smoking so I won't have my children smoke. Or you'll see also within this advertisement that kids are being targeted within the tobacco industry. Basically, when they go to retail and pick up something at that cash register, everything's directly in the line in their eyesight view. So this is basically just educating uh, our constituents here in Miami-Dade County, our residents here, about how the tobacco marketing markets towards, our youth, as well as adults. So this sounds like something you're interested in. Please get involved with the Tobacco Free Work Group. Currently, right now, we are not meeting in person, of course, but you can go ahead and sign up at thehealthymiamidade.org, and we do meet bi-monthly. So we just had our last meeting for the year in November here, but we will have another meeting come January. So if you would like to get involved, Again, just sign up at healthymiamidade.org. I also want to provide you all with some quick resources so you can have this information if you know anybody that want to quit smoking tobacco, or if you would like to distribute any of this information to the public or within your organizations. We do work alongside with the area health education centers here, and it's within the Jackson Health System. We also have Miami-Dade AHEC and University of Miami AHEC. If you'd like any more of this information, please reach out to me and I can go ahead and provide that all to you. So thank you so much for listening to me today about tobacco marketing and the 4 Ps.
Thank you so much, Takia. We really appreciate that presentation. It was great. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Brianna for our Q&A session.
Thank you, Robert. So we did receive a few questions from our attendees that had registered. And so Takia, our first question for you is, which of the 4 Ps do you think is most important that has been used by tobacco marketing companies?
Well, I would say they're all important to the tobacco marketing companies. But when it comes to tobacco prevention or like control programs, we look at all of them as well because they all coincide with each other. When you think about like how promotion, how they have those tobacco marketing advertisements with on the walls, they also include price, right? So the price coincided with the promotions as well as when you think about it, that place, the place where it's being sold at. If there's a lot of tobacco retailers within a specific city or a neighborhood, that means that those retailers probably have a lot of those promotional items or those advertisements. So all 4 of them are all important to each other and are important towards the tobacco prevention and controls coalitions as well.
Thank you for sharing that insightful information. Our next question that we received is, are there any programs that you know of that would help populations that are targeted heavily by tobacco companies?
Yes, so our program with the Tobacco Prevention and Control Program here in the Florida Department of Health, we actually work with so many different organizations like American Cancer Society, Heart Association, all within our tobacco-free work group, which is free to join, by the way. We all work together in looking at, the neighborhoods and these disparate groups that are being targeted highly by tobacco industries. So any form of tobacco coalition, prevention coalition, will also do the same as well in your neighborhoods.
Thank you. And I think this one leads right into the next question. Well, also, what can Miami-Dade residents do to address point of sale marketing?
So if any residents that have the time to definitely join the tobacco-free work group, like I mentioned again, it is free. And we are currently working on tobacco retail licensing, which basically kind of like combats that point of sale marketing that the tobacco industry does by placing a license fee on these retailers so they can comply to certain things. So this can possibly, reduce the type of how much marketing materials they're going to have at the stores, or also could technically also combat, the amount of tobacco retailers within an area. So these are things that the tobacco-free work group is working on, and I'll say that any Miami-Dade residents could definitely join in and partake in that.
Thank you. And I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any other additional questions. So if you could lastly just please share with us some local cessation resources again to quit smoking.
Yeah, no problem. Let me see if I could go back. There you go.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And so now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Robert.
Thank you, Candace. So today's event, as part of the Florida Department of Health and Miami-Dade County, Office Community Health and Planning's new webinar series entitled Healthy Happens Here. 3 events will be held each month and will cover a variety of topics, including nutrition, mental health, tobacco cessation, and chronic disease self-management. Our next event is entitled Journey to Wellness, Life's Simple 7, and will take place on Monday, December 7th from 10 to 11 a.m. Join us in learning about how your organization can promote chronic disease prevention and management through the distribution of the Journey to Wellness RX, a non-pharmaceutical prescription that encourages individuals to create healthier lifestyles based on Life's Simple 7. Please take a moment to register for this event by using the link provided in the chat box. Finally, please make sure to visit healthymiamidade.org to receive the latest updates from the Consortium for Healthy Miami-Dade, as well as other health educational materials. Thank you again for joining us today, and have a great rest of your afternoon.